Have you booked that trip to Ireland yet? Press the green button and visit the island of Ireland. See Ireland.com.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
The Warrington Irish Club, a friendly and welcoming club keeping the Irish culture alive. We have Irish and country music every Saturday night, tribute nights, race nights, charity nights and karaoke. All live sports are shown on big screens. We have snooker, dominoes and crown green bowling teams along with arts and craft. Pop in for a friendly welcome and book your event at the Warrington Irish Club. Give Frank a call on 01925 243 363.
Mulligan's Funeral and Monumental Services are a family-owned funeral service first established by the late Brian Mulligan in 1996. We provide funeral homes in Gorton, Manchester and Reddish Stockport, and we pride ourselves on giving a friendly and professional service to all the families who use our service. Contact us on 0161 432 0809.
Founded in Kilkenny, Ireland in 1702, but lost on a bet on a horse race in Deauville, France, 1918. Sullivan's was re-established a few years ago by direct descendants of two great Kilkenny brewing families, the Smithwicks and the Sullivans. We're about to embark on our own journey across the United Kingdom. But this time, we won't bet the brewery. Sullivan's. Brewing is in our blood.
Press the green button and visit the island of Ireland. See Ireland.com.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. This week we'll be meeting Peter Walsh, who hails from County Mayo and lives in Manchester. But first, we're in Northampton for the Bloomsday celebrations. Bloomsday is a commemoration and celebration of the life of James Joyce. This week we're at the Kingsthorpe Cemetery, where Lucia Joyce is laid to rest. That's the daughter of James Joyce. We'll be having some readings, some singing and some wonderful performances by a great cast of people led by Gerry Molumby.
My work brought me into regular contact with a number of other writers and artists. And walking through the city one day, I happened to run into one of them, an Irish writer by the name of James Augustine Aloysius Joyce. He was at the time working on a long, complex, stylistically innovative novel, which, in the unlikely event of it ever being published, was to be entitled Ulysses. The action apparently took place over one day in Dublin in 1904, June the 16th, today. Joyce looked pleased with himself. "You've had a good day's writing?" I inquired. Oh, excellent, he said. 2 sentences. I made every effort to share his enthusiasm. 2 sentences, grand. You were obviously having some trouble finding the right words. Oh, no, said Joyce. I always had the right words. It was putting them in the right order that was the problem.
James, you had a very important role to play tonight.
I did, yes. Frank Budgeon, friend of the Joyce family, and I saw a lot of Lucia's growing up, and was part of Samuel Beckett's life. And it's an important part of the show. Yeah. Nice to do. It is said that James Joyce's mild-mannered mother, Mary, had 2 significant revelations in life. The first was that she'd married a drunkard. The second was that she'd given birth to a genius. Both were likely to leave her short of money for most of the time.
Gerry, of course, you had the main character to play tonight.
Yeah, it's great to play James Joyce. He's so funny and witty, and he's play on words, and he himself wrote that it's best to understand or to appreciate Ulysses, it's best to read it out loud, and all the characters in it. It can be a bit difficult in parts. You're wondering what does that mean, but there's loads of good guides around. Daniel Hall's written one there recently. There's always somebody, a book around to help you interpret it, but it comes alive when you actually recite it and read it. And this play by James and Richard is great for us here in Northampton, having a tangible connection with the Joyce family, with Lucia buried here. And we've been doing it now for 18 years, and this is our second time doing the play. And we've thoroughly enjoyed it. Good crowd here tonight. And we'll just keep the history of Ulysses, the history of James Joyce and of Lucia going. And we're very proud of the whole thing, yeah.
She was a Galway girl called Nora Barnacle, and she was working as a chambermaid.
At first, I took him for a Swedish sailor, as he had the blue eyes of a Norseman and a somewhat rolling gait. But then I realised he was just another Dublin chancer chatting up a country girl.
James Joyce liked to be out on the town and having a good time and having a few drinks, and you were sleeping on park benches and doing different things.
Yeah, I had to take in the washing, Nora, had to take in the washing, and he didn't like that fact. I mean, he knew it was fine that I was a chambermaid and everything back in Dublin, but he had promised Nora, or she thought he had promised her a better life beyond when he'd get famous in Trieste and all the rest of us. But I think it's hard to understand for us what it's like for a young one to run away and not be married, because she'd be very vulnerable if you're not married to the man. Like, if you have a row with him, where are you going to go? Because your reputation in those days is ruined. I know she loved him and wanted to stay with him and everything, but honestly, her options were very limited, especially when she had 2 children.
Now, Richard, of course, you've done a great job, you and James, writing up the story of James Joyce tonight.
Yeah, we've been attending Bloomsday for a number of years, great fans of Joyce and some of his colleagues, and it was a pleasure to work with James to write this play, and this is the second time it's been performed on Bloomsday here at Lucia's grave.
Ulysses is a just fantastic book. The more I come back to it year after year, it's like a spiritual deposit account. You find it's got more value as accrued to it since you last looked at it, and no one understands it word for word, but it is a work of genius, and it's just getting the key points, I suppose, of the journey and how they intersect with Lucia, and doing an impression of it, really. You can't get the whole thing in, but we hope we've done justice to the man himself and his daughter. The 16th of June has become a big celebration now, virtually all around the world. That's correct, Bloomsday, and we're very lucky in Northampton because this could only happen in one place, because there's only one grave of James Joyce's daughter, and that's here. So this is a special ceremony, and we like to make sure we commemorate it. And it's been a great pleasure to do something, a bit longer and a proper theatre piece surrounding it. We've enjoyed the experience immensely.
Lucia, she's buried here in Northampton in Kingsthorpe.
She was in her 80s and she was buried here in 1982. And apparently because we interviewed some of the nurses who cared for her, she specified that she wanted to be buried in Northampton to stay local. You know, she could have been buried with her dad or in Dublin. Well, maybe not Dublin because she had no real connection with Dublin. But she wanted to be buried in Northampton and specifically Kingsthorpe. But we've written about that and the interviews we did in the back of the script, and people can get a copy of the script from me through my website, yeah.
Théâtre de Vieux Colombier, matinée de danse featuring les six de rythme et couleur.
That was our dance group, Lucia and I, the six of rhythm and colour.
Beverly, of course you and Lucia Joyce, very good friends.
As my character, Kathleen, yes, yeah. Yes, very much so. We danced together, had a great time in Paris by the sound of things, yeah. Remember that time at the Balboulier? Your father was there with Sam Beckett. You danced with such passion, the crowd rose to their feet and chanted for l'Irlandaise, the Irish girl. She was very avant-garde, I think, for the time. So, yeah, she was won competitions and was very popular in her style of dancing. Sleep and dream, your ever-loving kitten. We lived in Paris together, as the character certainly, and best friends, I think, and we used to travel around Paris and have photographs taken, having fun in the clubs and the bars and the theatres.
I think sometimes people get the wrong impression of what life was like for her at St Andrews. She often came out of the hospital, was taken out by a driver, could tour the Northamptonshire countryside, and apparently she visited this cemetery on several occasions and liked it as a quiet spot here in Northampton.
Now, Stuart, of course, you were Samuel Beckett, a very important role.
I don't know how important it was. I'm good friends with Lucia. She wanted me to be a little bit more than a good friend, but it was a tragic life, I think. She had so much talent, so much dance in her, but to end up the way she did was just such a shame, such a shame. I once heard a lecture given by Carl Jung in London. I'll never forget the moment he spoke of one particular patient he'd been asked to examine, but who in the end he could not help. He referred to her as a girl who had not really been born. And I knew right away he was talking about you.
I'm enrolled at the Indian Institute of Technology, Gandhinagar, and I'm working on Samuel Beckett and how Lucia Joyce employed narrative self-care and how Beckett's episode in her life plays an important role in her life in terms of self-care in the asylum. And, well, a major part of my research here in the UK was to visit Lucia's grave, and I had no clue how to go about it from Manchester. But I met Gerry Molumby at the Liverpool Beckett Festival, and he informed me about this Bloomsday celebration of 100 years of Joyce's Ulysses, and finding this celebration as a perfect moment of celebration of not just Joyce's work, but of the relationship of care, father-daughter relationship, and the relationship of Lucia and Samuel Beckett.
Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart feel weary, sad the days and long, still to us.
Ulysses celebrating 100 years. My goodness, fantastic.
Yeah, and the more you get to know about the man and the difficulty he had in getting it published, censorship, printers guillotining parts of Dubliners, and the fact that he had physically very poor eyesight, and yet he wrote these great books. So we owe an awful lot to him. He had a tough old time, but he left us a great legacy, appreciated all over the world. Ulysses, James Joyce is Brand Ireland up there with the harp and Guinness and Shamrock and St Patrick's Day.
Bloomsday has developed into a huge celebration all around the world. And well done to everybody who took part in the Bloomsday celebrations in Northampton. Now it's time for us to take a break, and we'll see you soon.
Have you booked that trip to Ireland yet? Press the green button and visit the island of Ireland. See Ireland.com.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
The Warrington Irish Club, a friendly and welcoming club keeping the Irish culture alive. We have Irish and country music every Saturday night, tribute nights, race nights, charity nights and karaoke. All live sports are shown on big screens. We have snooker, dominoes and crown green bowling teams along with arts and craft. Pop in for a friendly welcome and book your event at the Warrington Irish Club. Give Frank a call on 01925 243 363.
Mulligan's Funeral and Monumental Services are a family-owned funeral service first established by the late Brian Mulligan in 1996. We provide funeral homes in Gorton, Manchester and Reddish, Stockport, and we pride ourselves on giving a friendly and professional service to all the families who use our service. Contact us on 0161 432 0809.
Founded in Kilkenny, Ireland in 1702, but lost on a bet on a horse race in Deauville, France, 1918. Sullivan's was re-established a few years ago by direct descendants of two great Kilkenny brewing families, the Smithwicks and the Sullivans. We're about to embark on our own journey across the United Kingdom. But this time, we won't bet the brewery. Sullivan's. Brewing is in our blood.
Press the green button and visit the island of Ireland. See Ireland.com.
Welcome back. Now, Peter Walsh hails from County Mayo and has lived in Manchester for a very long time. And of course, he's very well known for his Irish cultural equipment. Well, Peter recently arranged a reunion night, and his idea behind it all was while he's got the health, he would like his family and as many of his friends to get together to have a good night's fun, enjoyment and laughter. And they've certainly done that.
There's always fire in the kitchen. There's always a kettle on the boil. There's no fancy carpets on no chair, but the one to our house with a home.
I haven't a lot to say, but my little simple idea started in this very room where we are now. And I thought I would come up with what I would go to call a reunion or a gathering. Just to get people together so we could all have a good night. And definitely have a good drink. And if you can drink it, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, God bless, enjoy the night, thanks very much.
Peter, are you enjoying your special night?
Oh, very much so indeed. I've enjoyed every moment of it. And most of all, I enjoyed preparing it. No use in me writing it down because I can't see it, so I have to try and keep it all upstairs and give it out the best way I know how.
Well, you gave a great speech up there and everybody was listening very attentively to you.
Well, as I said again, I've never done anything like that before. I was always shy, but something come over me. I think the good Lord above was looking down on me, and I I pulled it off anyway.
You've invited so many people here tonight. It's great to see all your friends here.
That's correct, Martin, and I have my own brother Sean Walsh here with me, his wife Pat, and there's been quite a few. Kevin Prendergast who come and gave us a few songs, which was lovely to meet him. It made the night, and it's lovely to get that sort of support from the friends, neighbours, and the amount that gathered here. I don't believe that so many considering there was no invitations, nobody was told, word of mouth. Annette and Martin gave it out on the radio and gave it a plug, and every bit of it comes together beautifully.
Of course, you've got Michael Coyne here providing the entertainment tonight, but your friend went up there also, as well as Kevin Prendergast, Eddie Kiley.
That's correct. Eddie in his day was a great singer, a lovely man, always gave a turn at every party, and he's still keeping going.
The place they left to board the ship, I often heard them say, it was lovely Southern Harbour at the side of Black Sod Bay.
And Michael Coyne, one lovely man. We couldn't have picked a nicer man for the night. Michael, thank you.
I'm here to celebrate Pete Welch's 86th birthday. He's a neighbour of mine from home, outside Ballyhorn. It's a place called Dromedary. And I knew him growing up. I knew him here in Manchester years ago when I lived here.
It's great to see a good crowd here at St. Anne's.
Great crowd. For Pete's birthday, great. And his brother is here tonight, Sean from Dromedary, and his wife Pat, and Sean and Pat's daughter Marie. They're over for the weekend.
And they're neighbours of yours back in Mayo.
Yeah, and a few. In fact, we're singing the choir in Lochboy together.
I know she's waiting where we said goodbye in old Mayo, or to Irish island, and an Irish heart is pining when I kiss Trump.
You went up there and you sang a couple of songs for him as well, and the audience all loved it.
They liked it. I did 3 songs there. It was a special night for Pete. They invited me here tonight, so I'm over here for a week or 10 days. So I happened to be in the right place, the right time.
You had a great career here when you lived here in Manchester for over 30 years, and of course everybody here tonight knew you and recognised you and shook hands to you and made you welcome.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. I recognise the faces, but names, I'm not that age now, Martin, names, but faces, yeah. It was lovely seeing them again, yeah, lovely, yeah. The first song I ever wrote was Let's Go Back to County Mayo, 43 years ago. I brought out that. And then there was Black Sod Bay and the Galway Mountain Boy and My Old Home Mayo and Galway and You, all them songs. Fire in the Kitchen, of course.
There's always a fire in the kitchen. There's always a kettle on the boil. There's no fancy carpets or no charcoal, but the one thing our house is the home.
I met Michael years ago, 40 years ago, in Liverpool. He played for me, and he's still doing great, isn't he, Michael? Lovely fella, yeah.
Now, you like to play a little bit of music yourself, Peter, I believe.
I do. I play a bit on the button accordion, and I also do a little bit on the piano accordion. And of course the old fingers now are beginning to get very stiff, so I'm afraid that'll have to stop as well.
I've seen many happy sad times, and it still remains through it all.
Now, St. Anne's Club in Stretford here is a beautiful club. You picked a lovely venue, and the food and everything that was provided was wonderful.
It was indeed, and fair play to Siobhan and her staff. They are absolutely marvellous. I come here every Sunday night, and I'm very lucky that I have Seamus McHugh and Maureen who take me home, and I'm very, very well looked after in this club.
Now, you're a man of many, many talents, because when I visit your home, you've got so much traditional Irish old stock, I would say.
I have a lot of stuff, that much of it that I don't know where to put it and what to do with it. In my time, I used to make hand carts, wheelbarrows, turf barrows, you name it. Cleaned up old pots, the old crooks and the cranes and all the gear, and I have it all still there to this day.
Rumour has it that you supply half of sale with hen eggs.
I used to do. I had a lot of hens at one time, but Mrs. Fox come round gradually when I was gone to bed, and took them away. So they're all in heaven. Well, I was born in a little place called Drimadella, Ballahonas, County Mayo. A lovely little place, and the old thatched house at that time. I had a great parents, mum and dad, and we were very lucky and very happy, and everything went great.
So how long ago did you immigrate from Mayo to England?
I arrived in England in 1954. I was only a young chap at that time, but then again somebody told me that even when I was young I was very small. So I did improve a bit then later on. So I was born in 1936, and I'm still stood up to this day. I was a joiner by trade, served my time and could do the job. Nowadays, they'd throw the saw away, they wouldn't think of sharpening it, and I still have all the sharpening gear and can still do it.
Now, you always like to do something different, don't you?
Well, I do. I'm always coming up with bright ideas. And only tonight, now that I've got this function over, I did say that if I was going to do another function or similar, I'm going to hold it in Tatton Park.
And will it be tick-a-don't-lie?
Oh, it would have to be, yes, because I'd have to control it the next time to keep the numbers down.
Hello again. Hello me. I just want to mention a few people. That's Father Jed, our parish priest here in St. Anne's, one lovely man. To the bar staff, Siobhan and our bar staff, a big thank you to them. To PJ over in the corner, who I drink with here every Sunday night. And little B, who does the door here of a Sunday night.
You're celebrating your birthday this coming Tuesday, and a very happy birthday to you from everybody here tonight, and I'm sure most people watching the show that knows you and everything.
That's right, Martin. I will be the big 86 on that next Tuesday. And thank God I've still got the health. I've lost my sight, but I'm still able to manage and get about my own simple way. And I do it my way.
Peter, happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Martin and Annette. Great to have you both with me, and that's what made tonight.
Thank you, Peter. You're a gentleman.
One thing our hearts is home.
Well done, Peter. You arranged a great night, and it was lovely to see Kevin Prendergast there, a lifelong friend of Peter's. Well, that's about it for this week. Just to remind you, Henry McGlade is back with us next Thursday evening at 7 o'clock with his show from County Mayo, and we're here at 7:30. Until then, take good care.